news and events COVID-19 on June 01 vertical line world news vertical line KCVC note. This is a collaborative video made between at Travel for All Fanpage and Knowledge of Coronavirus channel. Please respectfully welcome everyone. The following is the remarkable news most on June 01 as follows. 1. American news. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo said that while everyone has the right to protest even during a pandemic, they are also obliged to protect the health of themselves and others, and he has asked people to should wear a mask when protesting. Minnesota, the United States, had to mobilize the National Guard. At the same time, many U.S. cities also imposed curfew for protests. On June 1, the New York Times newspaper of America wrote the article, "Will the protests cause the second wave of COVID-19?" The article questioned the mass protests of the past few days in many American cities, protesting the death of Mr. George Floyd, with thousands of people out of their homes and crowded in the streets. This has worried public leaders, doctors and health professionals, and warned of the risk of an increase in COVID cases-19. While asserting that people have the right to express their views, many leaders urged protesters to wear masks and maintain social spacing to protect themselves as well as to prevent the spread of COVID-19 among the public. According to the newspaper The Today, published June 1, 2020, the United States has announced that it has sent 2 million doses of anti-malarial drugs, advertised as President Donald Trump's coronavirus medication, to Brazil. In a joint statement on Sunday, the United States and Brazil said hydroxychloroquine would be used as a precaution to protect health workers in Brazil against viruses, as well as treatment to help Brazilians become infected. The U.S. is also sending 1,000 ventilators to Brazil, where many of the second cases of COVID-19 in the world. In a joint statement on Sunday, the United States and Brazil said hydroxychloroquine would be used as a precaution to protect health workers in Brazil against viruses, as well as treatment to help Brazilians become infected. The U.S. is also sending 1,000 ventilators to Brazil, where many of the second cases of COVID-19 in the world. The 2020 census in the United States is on track, with more than 60% of U.S. households answering multiple-choice questions, with nearly 89 million responses. Efforts are being made to get an accurate count of the diverse communities of the United States. According to the Census Bureau report, 4 out of 5 households responded to the statistics on the internet at 2020 census. Governor speaking on Fox News' Sunday Morning Futures on May 31, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said that President Donald Trump is ready to respond to China's aggressive actions that have increased over time. The U.S. Secretary of State is referring to the statements President Trump made at the White House Rose Garden on May 29. At the time, the White House owner pointed to a series of Chinese actions he said were aimed at countering U.S. interests, including concealing information about the COVID-19 epidemic, stealing intellectual property, and unruly action in the South China Sea. 2. Update of COVID-19 in the world. In the United States, the number of people infected with COVID-19 rose to more than 371,100 and the number of deaths to more than 104,300 out of a global total of 6.1 million infected in the world and 1.78 million dead. 3. Hong Kong news. As China plans to apply national security laws to Hong Kong, more and more Hong Kong residents are planning to leave because they do not see the future for their children or themselves in the special zone, according to Bloomberg. May 31. 4. Philippines news. The COVID-19 pandemic has given Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte a reason to ease overpopulation in Manila, one of the most densely populated areas on Earth in recent decades, Bloomberg News reported. June 1 wrote so. Accordingly, the Duterte administration donated money and goods to encourage people to leave the metropolitan Manila area in an ambitious program called Balik Provincia, roughly translated Return to Province. 5. Indian news. India on May 31 said it had arrested 2 Pakistan High Commissioner officials in India for spying and ordered them to leave India for 24 hours. However, in Pakistan's capital, Islamabad, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs condemned India's decision to deport 2 diplomats. Specifically, Pakistan said that the two diplomats were deported by the Indian authorities with false and unfounded allegations. According to the New York Times, India and Pakistan have been fighting for control of Kashmir since gaining independence from British colonialism in 1947. Both countries control parts of the region and claim sovereignty. India also accused Pakistan of armed and training groups fighting for independence for Kashmir from India or merging with Pakistan. Islamabad denied the allegations and said that they provided only spiritual and diplomatic support. 6. Australia News. From today, Monday, June 1, life will be somewhat back to normal for many Australians. Some states loosen up the existing isolation rules as the virus infection rate shows signs of cooling off. Starting June 1, people from Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria and South Australia will live more comfortably in the past 3 months. All 4 states will enter Stage 2 in a 3-phase program set by the government to reopen the economy. In Queensland, blockade relaxation measures were applied 2 weeks earlier than originally planned. This is good news for the local tourism industry, which has been gloomy for the past few months due to the travel ban. 7. Belgian News. Prince Joachim, 29 years old, called King Philippe his uncle and ranked 10th on the succession list, became infected with COVID-19 after attending a party in the southern Spanish city of Cordoba on May 26. Reuters quoted the Belgian royal notice saying Prince Joachim arrived in Madrid on May 24 and then moved to Cordoba to practice at a local company. Prince Joachim has only mild symptoms. It is not known whether he was infected with COVID-19 in Belgium or in Spain. 8. UK News. In a BBC interview on May 31, British Foreign Minister Dominic Raab said London would not turn a blind eye to the responsibility of solving the problem in Hong Kong after the Beijing government decided to enact a new security law. This area. Raab also reiterated his May 28 statement regarding the possibility of considering granting citizenship to Hong Kong's with British overseas passports, VNO, emigrating to the country, according to Reuters news agency. The length of stay for VNO UK passport is also extended from 6 months to 12 months. 9. French News. Officials of Paris, France, yesterday lifted high metal fences erected around the square in front of Notre Dame Cathedral. People can now take a closer look at this Gothic-style building, the first time since the horrific fire more than a year ago. Information about the reopening of the square was not informed in advance, but this place quickly attracted the attention of the people of Paris, who still expected to walk on this square. The square in front of Notre Dame Cathedral was closed shortly after the fire on April 15, 2019. The fire destroyed nearly the entire roof of the building and caused 300 tons of lead to melt, polluting the air and soil in the surrounding area. It is expected that Notre Dame Cathedral will return to the way it was before in 2024. 10. Russian News. In Russia, the Steering Committee for COVID-19 Prevention said that as of June 1, there were 9,035 new cases of COVID-19 in 84 federal subjects, bringing the total number of new virus infections to 414,878, an increase of 2.2%, of which 3,622, 40.1%, new infections have no clinical manifestations. Within the past 1 day, Russia had an additional 3,994 people recovering, bringing the total number of people cured to 175,877. However, recorded an additional 162 deaths, bringing the total death toll to 4,855 cases. Our newsletter is now over. Thank you for always watching and supporting our videos. Knowledge of Coronavirus, Channel and Travel for All Fantage respectfully, and see you in the next video.